Hi, everybody. It's Patricia Dent, and this is the first in a series of interviews with business leaders in our area and what they're doing about COVID-19 and what they do generally. So I want to introduce you to Joanna Shaw. She's the principal of JMS Law. She is not only a lawyer who works to inspire people to resolve their family situations with minimal damage to themselves, emotional damage, and to their children. She's also a children's lawyer, a mediator, and did I leave anything out there? And a yogi. And so one of the reasons that we're talking to Joanna is that in this very difficult time when people are facing a lot of stress, we wanted to hear from people to find out how they're coping and what they're doing and the suggestions that they want to make for others. So apart from working with people on, so that's your business as usual, working with people, and I guess you also do family real estate and wills as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
As well as the legal
Yep.
part for
Yep.
family. I hate to use the divorce word, but I guess we've all, or many of us have been there. So what do you, this is what you normally do, right? I know that you made a comment to me that said in the past you've become more and more extroverted as you go out into the community and in your leadership role. And now we're almost with social distancing, we're now in a more introverted kind of role. So what do you do for business now? How is your life different right now because of COVID-19?
Right. So I just wanted to actually say thank you first to you, Patricia, for sort of leading the way for me. How many years ago when we sort of stepped into Cascappuccino and started our conversations, and you kind of guiding me along the way. So thank you for that, and thank you for this opportunity as well, because I'm feeling like this is a great opportunity for me to reach out in a way that I have never done before and I've not been used to. So I'm actually learning a lot at this point. So dealing with the way things have gone in the last few weeks. I mean, I don't think I've ever been on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, is that
I don't think I've ever been on Facebook this much.
Oh, have you? Well, you are on Facebook, though,
yes,
right? Right. You are on Facebook. This is a yay for tech. Yeah. So isn't it great that we're adapting?
Yay for tech.
Yay for tech. And you're also reading a lot of books.
And actually that. Well, you know, interesting, because I haven't gotten to any of the books that I wanted to do in the last little while. I thought that I would be, but I think I've been spending a lot of time on the techie piece, trying to figure this all out. This morning I did my very first Facebook Live yoga class on my personal Facebook page. And then just about maybe half an hour ago, I did my second yoga class on the JMS Law website and or JMS Law Facebook page and Instagram. So I'm kind of learning a lot. These are not things that I would have imagined myself doing way back when, but I kind of, I started doing it this week because I really felt like I needed to reach out to the community and bring to bring a different perspective on life in general. And I've been practicing yoga for a very long time and teaching it for a very long time, but I don't think I've kind of reached out to the wider community as much as I have in the last day, maybe. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, because you want to get back to reading books and catch up with the things that you're wanting to do. But your office is still open for business, though. So you're managing social distancing and the office, and you're trying to stay focused, right?
Right. So trying not to go into panic mode, because I know that that's not very helpful for anyone. Right. So watching the news, staying abreast of everything that's happening, but at the same time not getting sucked in to the panic and the worry. And whenever I do find myself getting sucked into the panic and worry, I get back to my yoga mat. So meditation and yoga has been the primary focus for me whenever I'm starting to get derailed. Right. In terms of the office, we are definitely social distancing a lot. Our doors are locked. However, you can still access us. People can still call us. So we have our reception person taking calls. We're doing Zoom calls with clients and consultations.
Right.
we're finding very creative ways to stay connected to our community and to help in whatever way we can, because we realize that people's the fact that what's happening right now in the world doesn't negate the fact that people may need some assistance
Right.
from a legal perspective, right? So a lot of people now are thinking about their wills, because this is
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those
Mm-hmm.
moments where we're thinking, oh, if something happens to me, is there enough protection for my family? We are getting creative with our real estate department. So our real estate clerk is working from home, so we've got remote access for her. Both of our lawyers have the capacity to work from home. One of them has taken that opportunity. The other really feels that she can't work at home because there's just too many things happening in her house. She has a 4-year-old, so it's a little tricky for her. So she's been coming in, and but again, maintaining social distancing. Two of our
Right.
people have decided that they're going to take an opportunity to take some time away from the office for the next little while, and basically, so we are down to a very small staff right now,
Mm-hmm.
and maintaining that distancing, and trying to communicate with people in whatever way we can without actually having to see them face to face. We're also doing things when we Zoom with you, because we need identification as lawyers. We have clients show us their ID on Zoom, on the Zoom technology,
Mm-hmm.
and so we can see the identification, and then we have them either take a photo of it and send it to us. And then when we do, if we have to sign documents with them, then when we do see them, we're wearing gloves, we're wearing our mask and sanitizing. I don't think there's one surface in our office that has not been sanitized.
Right.
We have a super, super clean office right now. And our hands, our whole bodies. In fact, we've been spraying ourselves with all kinds of things to help to protect in that way too. So we've been taking a lot of precautions.
It sounds
Yeah.
like you're one of the poster children then for pivoting, because you're right, people will still need you, and so you really have to find a way to answer the call, and some of those ideas may help some of the people who are going to be listening to this interview, which is great. So thank you. I know, do you think one of the questions I wanted to ask people was, do you think that some of these changes will be more permanent in the future? Do you think that having now developed different avenues of communication, for example, that you may just maintain them so that busy people who, may not be able to, for example, a working family who need to have a conference. I know that you do consultations initially over Zoom, so maybe that's something that you're going to maintain, because it helps in terms of timing for you and your lawyers and also the people involved. Do you think that's going to happen, or how are you feeling about some of the tech?
I think now I'm getting more comfortable with the technology, so I would imagine yes. But we have been doing some of this already, because we do a parenting class, and some of our clients actually come from Collingwood or Toronto, and so we've actually had them come in by way of Skype to the classes. So we've been doing this, maybe not to the degree that we likely will be doing in the future. Maybe there are moments when I'm thinking, wow, maybe I don't even need to have people in the office. We could be doing a lot of the things that we're doing now by Zoom, with the exception of when we need to sit with someone, look at their ID, get their signatures. We were also, historically, we have been going out to people to sign their wills and get instructions. So we've done that where we didn't have to actually bring them into the office, because there were some people with mobility issues that we would want to help them. So we could probably take some instructions now via Zoom, and that may be something we will change. But of course, nothing ever changes the fact that we need to make sure that people are who they say they are when they're giving instructions, and when they're ultimately signing documentation attesting to certain things, right? So from a legal perspective. Yeah. So we're constantly watching the Law Society feeds on what we should or shouldn't be doing, and checking in with the Law Society about, what's appropriate and what's not. And right now, the lawyers here in Simcoe County have banded together. They have their own Facebook page. We ask a lot of questions of each other there. So just staying connected and realizing what it is that we can and can't do. I think that this is going to change the way that I do business in a big way. It may make more room in my office, because people may not have to be in the office as much, right?
Right.
So yeah, I still feel though that I want to have that face to face, because there's that connection
Right.
with clients when they
Right.
come in the door and there's a voice at the other end. I still like that prospect. So right
Right.
now our person Jen, she's likely the only one that is, in fact, we joked this morning that we may take a photo of her in her pajamas, as she's behind the phones. She's not in her pajamas today, but but we told her it might be okay for you to be in your pajamas, because no one may be seeing you at this point, and we won't even be seeing her. So she's there on her own, kind of taking the calls and talking to people and making sure that they're feeling comfortable.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. I think you're right. And honestly, the application for Zoom for your parenting class, and I forgot to mention that earlier. I think that's one of the brilliant things you do apart from your yoga practice, is to help parents to develop more skills, particularly through the divorce process. So kudos to you on that one.
Yes.
And I know you are,
Thank you.
You're welcome. And supporting supporting the community through different yoga venues is a good thing. We're gonna ask you to show us a breathing technique in a couple of minutes, but is there anything that's coming up for you that people should know about in the next little while? Because this is a time when people are looking for information, helping to develop their business, and also looking for community, even if it's this kind of Zoom community,
I think what people can see a little bit more from us now that I'm getting a little more comfortable with it, is more yoga classes on Zoom from the JMS Law website, as well as the my own personal website or personal Facebook pages and our social media, because I'm starting to realize that this is what we need, right? We need to reconnect. We need to reconnect with ourselves. We need to become more grounded as a community. The parenting program focuses a lot of that on that. I teach a lot of mindfulness techniques to people who are in the parenting program. So we want to do more of the parenting program. We love to get people into the parenting program. And I just want to say that the parenting program is not just for parents who are separating. It can also be for parents who are struggling with their they're co-parenting. They're in the same house. They're trying to parent children. Each one of them have different parenting styles and different understanding of the world, and they're trying to parent this one little person who is struggling with understanding what's right and wrong from both parents, right? So I think that this is a great opportunity for parents to really ground themselves and find better ways to communicate, so that they're not struggling with each other in the parenting part of their lives. But also a lot of parents are saying to us that just taking the program, they're saying that they're learning skills around finances and how to plan together, how to work together in their financial situations. So this could be a great opportunity for parents to learn. So those are the things that we want to spend a lot of time on. Mediation, when parents do take the parenting program, they have the opportunity of having free mediation sessions with us. We offer like 5 hours of free mediation time, so that parents can have an opportunity to work out some differences if they need to, using the techniques from the parenting program. So we want to bring a lot more mindfulness to the practice. We are so blessed. We have our lawyers have been incredibly mindful in terms of the way in which they practice themselves. And the reason why the lawyers that we have working for us right now, the reason why they came to us in the first place, is because they really resonated with my principles and values around meditation, around yoga, around mindfulness, and around really trying to help parents to resolve their differences without the complexities of court and the financial decimation of their resources, right? People spend a lot of their resources in the conflict. And so we're constantly reminding our clients, listen, it's better for you to kind of find the middle ground, is what I like to call it. What Buddhists call it. I'm not a Buddhist. I just want to make that clear. Not that there's anything wrong with being a Buddhist. I think it's fantastic. But I don't want anyone to have any misconceptions. But I'm a practicing yogi, and I do have a tendency to lean towards Buddhist principles as well, which is that middle ground and how we resolve conflict in a very peaceful way. So that's kind of what we are trying to do. But I also wanted to mention that on our social media, we posted something, and I believe that this came from the another organization that works with families, and now for the life of me I can't remember the name, but they talk about being mindful, right, when we're
Right.
going through this very difficult time right now, with relation to access and support payments, about being mindful and being helpful of each other as parents, recognizing that everyone is sort of struggling through things, and becoming more flexible in the parenting piece, because we've had situations where families have been traveling, and one parent has been traveling and the other parent is a little bit confused, or not wanting the other parent to have access because they need to be quarantined for 14 days, and that parent is very upset about it. So we've been sort of trying to help parents to understand that this is a crisis situation, and we're all trying to get through it together, and if we can just do it in a loving way and a more mindful and kind way, then we'll all get through to the other side without major scars, right? And especially our kids, because children, they carry these scars forever. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, it does. It does. So you're still doing things, and if people want to get in touch, I'll put your contact information under the video, for sure. But I think your point about being mindful is really well taken, because panic is not going to serve anybody. I think you have to be, I know as a business coach, when I'm talking to my students and members right now, one of the key things that we're saying is, okay, breathe. Now, how are you going to adapt your business a little bit? So I love that you've shown us some ways to adapt. And that's unusual for a traditional, in the traditional field of law. So I really appreciate your doing this. And I wonder if you've given some advice. I think your advice is to be kind and be strong, and we're stronger together. That's a hashtag I'm using right now a lot. It won't be this way forever, right? Which is important. No. We're going to come out of this, but we do need to be mindful of ourselves and our neighbors, because we want all of us to come through this together. So to that end, I'm wondering if you can help us with that breathing technique that you have been employing to manage your stress. Is that possible?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Well, then over to you.
So this is
because I'm just going to, let me see if I can get speaker view. There we go. It should be good. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Beautiful. So this is a breathing technique that I've taught to children as well as adults. And a lot of times when we're feeling really stressed and very anxious about things, it's very difficult for the mind to turn to very solid decision making. So we can't make good decisions if our brain is frazzled. So we need to kind of bring both sides of our brain together when we're struggling in this way, and we need to calm what's happening in our abdomen, because that's where we hold a lot of our stress. And the anxiety and the panic that happens in that space. And what I say to people all the time is that if we're breathing deeply, it's almost impossible, actually it is impossible, to feel anxious and stressed, because your body can't physiologically do both things at the same time. Right. So without hyperventilating, because you don't want to just keep breathing in, and because then you're moving into hyperventilation. So let's sit up straight, and I'm going to teach you actually a silent nostril breath. So a nice straight back, and your left hand is going to be sitting on your lap, palms facing up. So you can't see my lap, so that's why I kind of showed it in that way. Okay. And the right hand is going to be in front of your face. So I'll demonstrate it first, and then you can practice. So we take the right thumb and we close off the right nostril. So where the bone and the soft part of your nose meets, you want to close that part off, and you want to inhale and exhale. And you want to do that 3 times. Now, when you're inhaling and exhaling, you want to make sure that you can imagine the breath coming all the way from the earth, so Mother Earth, all the way to the tip of your head, and then releasing it down. So the same length of time that you're breathing it in, you want to exhale it out. So you want to just focus on that, and you'll do that 3 times. Okay. And when complete, we'll take the pinky and we're going to close out the other side. We're going to release the right side, and then we'll do the same thing. And when we are complete, we're going to take both of our hands, and we're going to rest it on our knees, palms facing up, and your eyes are still closed. Okay. So does that
that's good.
Yeah?
That's good.
So what I will also want to remind you is that you want to have a nice straight back. You want to check your shoulders, make sure it's away from your ears and your chin's parallel to the earth, and your eyes are always closed so that you can shut out the world around you. Because whenever we're getting all that stimulation from outside of us, it's very difficult to focus on the breath. If any thoughts come to mind, you just want to send them away. I always imagine a puffy cloud in the sky and I send them on their way.
Okay.
So I won't talk while you're doing it. So let's just take a few moments and do it together.
Okay.
So in your own time, you can begin. And after the third breath, your palms facing up on your knees, eyes remaining closed, and just breathe naturally, but nice and deeply. And just feel your body rest there and calm. You can gently open your eyes.
Thank you. I noticed
Yeah.
a definite calm. I think it's helpful to break a cycle. Yes, when you have to focus on an activity, helps you to break a cycle. So
That's right.
thank you very much.
Yes.
We'll look forward to seeing the yoga classes on the JMS Law Facebook page, or the Joanna Shaw
Right.
Facebook page, or the JMS Law
Both.
website.
Both.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
both. It's
You're
good to be on
everywhere.
both.
Is there
Apparently.
anything, apparently, is there anything you want to say in closing, Miss Joanna?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, the breath is the one thing that we can come back to always. Like I always say to my older yogis, I will say, if we had no breath, we have no life. So this is the thing I think that we need to remember. Yogis have always known this, that our breath is what centers us and brings us back to who we are. And, if this had happened, and I've been thinking about this for a few days now, that if this had happened, this event had happened, 10 years ago, I probably would be stressed and losing my mind too. But the one thing that I keep coming back is this peace, this practice, this meditation, just grounding myself and remembering that, as my mother used to say, when I was very young, this too shall pass. And it's true, right? We just need to kind of focus and know that there's so many people out there who want to help us, and to reach out, like you're one of those people, and reaching out to you has been one of those things that I've always done when I'm feeling in that state, right? So yeah, you've been instrumental in that part of my life, so thank you for that too.
Well, and thank you for being somebody who will offer to the community, and who, has multidimensional resources that you can call on, because I really do think we're stronger together. So I really appreciate your being the very first interview in this series, and
Thank you. Yay.
I'll let you know when it's up, and then you can master more technology. It'll be great. Thanks, Joanna.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Oops. Need the glass.